Okay, so this is part two of this chapter, and we talked last time. We talked about the different types of bonds, and you guys should be familiar with this: the ionic bond, the covalent bond, the hydrogen bond. So I'm expecting you guys to know that already, and I'm expecting that you already know polar versus non-polar, and you should know that water is polar, and that's why we have weak hydrogen bonds. This is individually between the different molecules. So if you look at this picture right here, going a little bit more into the water is required for many life processes. What does it mean? It means water is actually the major component of our body. More than half of our body is water. More in males, but generally speaking, it's the major part. Why? Everything, blood, CSF in the brain, inside the cells, outside the cells, carrying different things. Reactions happen in the fluid, which is mainly water. All the fluids in your body, mainly water. This is how important it is. Blood specifically, 90% of it is water. The rest is other things like blood cells and proteins and other things. And it maintains the shape and internal structure of our cells. Simply the whole inside of the cells, which is the cytoplasm, is cytosol plus organelles. The cytosol is the fluid part, which is mainly water, mainly water. So if you don't have enough water, your cells will collapse. It's not going to maintain the shape and internal structure. Characteristics of water, especially in as related to homeostasis, and I'm expecting that you guys know homeostasis. This is extremely important. This is the main concept in physiology. And I always do it like homeostasis. Homeo is like homogeneous, meaning stable within the normal range. Homogeneous, stable within the normal range. Stasis means to keep it. So keep things within the normal range. Keeping what? Everything. Everything. Sugar, glucose, oxygen, carbon dioxide, body temperature, body pH, everything should be kept within the normal range. And we call that homeostasis. Specifically, water have unique characteristics that we need to know. And number one is high heat capacity. What does it mean? It means if you get some water in a container and put it on a stove for some time, heat it up, it's not going to boil right away. It takes some time, like it's going degree by degree by degree by degree until it end up boiling. So it can absorb heat without raising the temperature that fast. Like if you put the water and keep it for a couple of minutes and put your finger, it's not hot yet. And then wait more, it will be warm. More, it will be warmer until it get like really heated up and then boil. So it takes some time. It absorbs a lot of heat until it go to that point. And what's good about that is it keep our heat. You remember that more than half of your body is water. So if you're getting heated up, the water is going to absorb it. So it's a good. It has high heat capacity. Other things, if you expose it to heat, it will like raise the temperature really fast. We call that low capacity. High capacity, you take it and you can keep it without going too fast, going up too fast. The other thing is, which is also good, that we have high heat of evaporation. Water evaporates like when you sweat. We know that like If it is too hot, we start to sweat. If you're like exercising, you start to sweat. If you think about it, why are we sweating? We're sweating to cool our body down, right? We cool ourselves down. How did you cool yourself down? Why the water lost in the form of sweat is cooling our body? Because the water deep inside your body, there is more heat than outside that's exposed to the atmosphere. So the water moves from inside, moves out in the form of sweat, and then evaporate fast. So when it's heated, it evaporates, so it takes the heat out of your body, and this is the importance of this one. It's also a polar substance. Polar, remember we talked about that. Hydrogen with water, hydrogen with oxygen making water. One oxygen and two hydrogen. Remember, oxygen is sharing two, hydrogen is sharing one. It's unequal sharing. So we call the water polar substance. We did that last week. It's polar substance, which is important, and I will show you. It all work as a solvent. What does it mean? When I get some sugar and I put it in the water, or when I get something like Kool-Aid powder, and then I dissolve it in the water, I end up having a drink. Names. The water is called solvent. The Kool-Aid or the juice powder, whatever you want to call it, this is called the solute. When you dissolve solute in a solvent, you end up having solution, which is the juice that we drink. Solute in a solvent makes solution. The water is cohesive and adhesive, and we will see that. So this is the first one, high heat capacity, which is good because it absorbs our heat energy. It does not warm up really fast. So it can keep our water, which is good. Number two, evaporation, and I talked about that. It evaporates, it absorbs the heat, and then when it goes on the surface of our skin, it's going to evaporate. So it takes the heat away from our body. And when you say evaporate, it means the hydrogen bonds break down. Let me remind you again. Water is one oxygen and two hydrogen. They make a covalent bond. But oxygen is sharing two. Hydrogen is sharing one, and the other hydrogen is sharing one. What does that mean? It means that oxygen is not equally sharing as hydrogen. So oxygen in this case will be slightly negative. Here is another molecule. If you can see my hand, here is another molecule, oxygen and two hydrogen. So now this oxygen is slightly negative, and the hydrogen of another molecule is slightly positive. There is a slight attraction to each other between oxygen of one and hydrogen of the other. This is hydrogen bonds. When you evaporate, it breaks down, simply. So because water is polar, as I just told you, it is going to attract other molecules and make hydrogen bond with it. Which molecules? What do you mean? Which molecules is it going to attract and make a hydrogen bond? Things that love water, and we call that hydrophilic. And should we memorize exactly what's hydrophilic? No, that's not a good idea. The good idea is to memorize what is the water hater or fearing. Which is the water fearing? It is anything that's lipid or fat. Lipid or fat, oil, margarine, anything that's lipid or fat. This is hydrophilic. And instead of memorizing everything else, no. We do it the smart way. We just know that lipid, fat, this is hydrophobic. Anything else is hydrophilic, that's it. Right? This is a lot easier. So if I give you any example, you don't have to think about it. Sugar. Is sugar lipid or fat? No, it is not. That's it. It's hydrophilic because water is polar. Other things, sugar is polar, so they attract the sugar is attracted to the water, react with it, so it's hydrophilic. How about salt? Let me think about it. Is it fat or lipid? No, it is not. That's it. I'm done. So it is not hydrophobic. It's hydrophilic. Okay, so everything else is hydrophilic except the only thing that's hydrophobic is fat or lipid. Meaning, can you put some margarine in the water and dissolve it? Never. Never. Can I put some oil and mix it with the water? You can mix it as much as you need to. Take an hour to mix it. Leave it for a minute. It will look like this cup right here. It will never mix. Why? Same reason. Because oil, which is fat or lipid, it's lipid, so it's hydrophobic. Why is it hydrophobic? Because it's not polar. If it is polar and the water is polar, they will make hydrogen bond. Remember polar, uneven bond, uneven sharing. So they can attract to each other. Fat and oil, fat and lipid is not polar, so it cannot mix. So it's hydrophobic. So I hope this part is understood, but as usual, ask me if you need to. You guys should know me now. There is no bad questions. There is no good question and bad question. Ask me anything you want. So water is solvent. This is the next one. It's solvent. What does it mean? I told you. You put powder, juice, powder, whatever it is, dissolve it in the water. You call the powder solute. You call the water solvent. And when it dissolves and you get the juice, we call that solution. Don't forget this. So how did this powder dissolve in the water? Is it hydrophilic or hydrophobic? It dissolved. Of course it's hydrophilic. Is it polar or unpolar? Of course it's polar. It wouldn't dissolve. Okay, so if you put some salt in the water, it's going to dissolve. What exactly do you mean it's going to dissolve? Meaning, look at this sodium. Remember sodium chloride, which is table salt, is sodium chloride. You should know that. Table salt that we use with the food is sodium chloride. So sodium chloride, does anybody remember what's holding sodium to chloride from the previous chapters? What kind of bond? Does anybody know? Let me give you the choices. Is it covalent? Is it ionic? Is it hydrogen?
Ionic.
It's ionic. Yes. Excellent. It is ionic because sodium is an ion. Chloride is an ion. Sodium is an ion because it lost one electron, become positive. Chloride is an ion, meaning it has a charge because it gained electron. And now there is an ionic bond, which is attraction. Very good. So now, since there is an attraction here, if you add water, the water molecules are going to surround the sodium alone, and it's going to surround fluoride alone. So now they are separated from each other and dissolved in the water. So this is exactly what it means when we say put solute in the solvent, you get a solution. Now this is a solution. And if you put the sugar, it will be the same way. It's water molecules will surround part of it, and what other water molecules will surround part, it's going to dissolve. The other thing is water is cohesive and adhesive, both of them. What's cohesive and what it is adhesive? Both of them means get together, attached to each other. But the difference is cohesive is within the water itself. Remember what's water? one oxygen, two hydrogen. This is a molecule. Another one oxygen and two hydrogen is a molecule. They attract to each other, and this is water. Attract to each other with what? What's connecting them? It's hydrogen bond. So what do you mean cohesive? Means this hydrogen bond will keep it together. And that's why if you got a drop of water and put it like on a leaf on a plant, you see that in the morning. You see a drop of water on the leaves and you see it like staying as a drop. It doesn't make like a film. It stay like this. Why is it staying like this and not scattered? Why stay like the droplets of water that we see like early in the morning? It's a droplet, meaning the different molecules of the water stay together to look like this. It doesn't spread. It doesn't scatter. Why? Because of the hydrogen bond. When stay together like this as a droplet, we call that cohesive. Adhesive is the same, but for something else. So it's adhesive to the salt, it's adhesive to the to sugar. So it's the same thing. It make hydrogen bond also, but not with each other, not the molecules together of water. No, it's the molecules of water with something else, like this. This is adhesive. So the molecules of water get adhesive with the sodium and adhesive with the chloride. So simply cohesion between the molecules of water itself. They make hydrogen bond. Adhesive between the molecules of water and something else, like a solute. Okay, can you guys answer this? Water has high or low heat capacity?
High, I think.
High, yes. How about evaporation? Heat of evaporation, high or low?
High.
It's high, yes. Water is super. What? So here is the explanation. It provides water-based solution for chemical reactions in the body. So what do you call it?
Solvent.
Solvent. Yes, water is a solvent. Water molecules are cohesive because what kind of bond keep the water molecules with each other?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen bond. Excellent. Is water polar or non-polar? What do you think?
Polar.
It's polar, of course. Yes. Remember oxygen, two hydrogen, oxygen, two hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, unequal sharing. It's polar. If it is not polar, it wouldn't stay with it. It will not attract. It will not make hydrogen bond. It make hydrogen bond because it's polar, unequal sharing. Okay, hydrophilic is polar substance or water. Is it water loving or water fearing?
Water
Loving.
Loving. And phobic?
Fearing.
Fearing. Excellent. Okay, next part is about the acids and base and buffer. If you think about it, you always say something like my stomach contain acid, right? Acid of your stomach. Your battery in the car, it contain acid. The oven cleaner, this is a base or alkaline, right? So different things can be acidic, can be alkaline, which is the opposite, or it can be in the middle. Not this and not that. The only thing on earth that is exactly in the middle, we do not consider it acid or base. The only thing is pure water. Pure water. Is pure water acidic? No. Is pure water base or alkaline? No. What is it? Neutral. It's in the middle. This is the only thing. Anything else, it's going to be either alkaline or acidic. Slightly or strong, it doesn't matter, but it is not neutral anyway. The only thing neutral on Earth is the pure water.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you talking about fresh water or salt water?
Fresh water, but pure.
So it's
Like,
not salt water, it's fresh water, pure fresh water.
yes, fresh water, but it has to be pure. Like there is some water that's not pure, contains some like contaminants and contain maybe salt or contain lead or contain any contaminant. It has to be fresh and pure at the same time, which is used like in the laboratory. Meaning the fresh water in your water tap is not neutral. It's not neutral, yes, because it's not 100% pure. Who drink pure water? And it doesn't have to be pure, but the only pure water is that water is used in laboratory, and it's used for different industries, but it's fresh water and also pure. There is no contaminants. Does our water contain some contaminants? A little bit, yes. It's not pure, not necessarily contaminants, other things. Contains different types of salts, it contains other things. But pure, it's just water that's completely pure, fresh water that's pure. Now, you're saying acid and base, which is alkaline, same thing. Base, alkaline is the same thing. So we see like this is a strong acid, this is a weak acid, this is a strong base, this is how to measure that. There is a measure system that they make, and they range it from 0 to 14. 0 is extremely and the most acidic. 14 is extremely and the most alkaline or basic. So what do you think is neutral? What's the number for neutral? If 14 is the most alkaline, 0 is the most acidic, what's neutral?
7.
7. Yes, 7. They call that the pH. It's measuring the acidity versus alkalinity. What determines the acidity? Like if you're telling me this is an acid, what exactly do you mean? It means it contains hydrogen ion. If you're telling me this is acidic, what does it mean? It contains something called OH, hydroxide group. In reality, do we have only hydrogen, only hydroxide? No, we do not. We always have a mix, and whichever is more is going to determine. Let me give you a practical example. If I give you like two colors, I give you white, I give you black. If I ask you to make like perfect gray, you would put like half black, half white, mix it, perfect gray. If I ask you like, can you make it a little bit darker? Yes, I'm gonna add more black. Or less white. Make sense? Right? Do you get the idea? You're making perfect gray. Okay, I'm gonna put spoonful of white, spoonful of black, mix it, 50-50. Can you make it a little bit darker? Yes, I can put either more of the black or less of the white. That will make it darker. Can you make it like lighter? Not 50-50, not in the middle. Can you make it lighter? Yes, less black or more white. So black and white in our system here is hydrogen versus hydroxide. You add more hydrogen or less hydroxide, that will be acidic. You add more hydroxide, less hydrogen, that will be basic. So remember this, hydrogen represent acidity. Hydroxide, which is OH, represent alkalinity. More hydrogen, less hydroxide, acid. More hydroxide, less hydrogen, base. Did you get this idea? So if it is like, if the pH is 7, what is this? It's equal. Hydrogen and a hydroxide is equal. What about 8? 8 is moving toward alkaline. So less hydrogen or more OH. How about 6? 6 is less than 7. So it's not neutral, it's less. So it's acid. What do you mean? I mean more more hydrogen or less hydroxide. So I hope that makes sense. So how about applying that in our body, like our blood specifically? What's the pH of the blood? Is it 7? No, I told you 7 is only pure water, nothing else on earth. You name it. There is absolutely nothing except for pure water. Is our blood pure water? No, it is not. So it's not 7. What is it then? 7.35 to 7.45. Or, if that's easier, 7.4 plus or minus half. Okay. Does it stay like that? It's coming in the next slides. I'm just giving you the general idea. So is it always like this? Is our blood always like this, like 7.4 plus or minus half? And can I just say 7.4? No, you cannot. Because if you say 7.4, it means 7.42 is bad. It is not bad. It's not abnormal. It's a range. So homeostasis, the same word that I'm keep on repeating over and over again, which is keeping stable environment, keeping everything within the normal range. So our homeostasis will keep our blood in that range, 7.35 to 7.45. How can you keep it within that range? Don't we eat and drink things all the time, and all these things are not pure? How can we like keep it? Yes, you do drink and eat all the time, and it's going to change, but your body system is going to adjust it. It's going to keep it. So back to the example of white and black colors that I gave you. If I ask you, you are in charge here. I want this color to be like in the middle, 50-50, but just a little bit darker, and keep it like that. What are you going to do? And I want you to watch it. Keep it in that color. I give you a specific color. You have to keep it in that color. What are you going to do? You're going to watch it. If you see it getting darker, you will add some white. If you're seeing it getting lighter, you will add some black. It's getting lighter, black. It's getting darker, white. You do that all the time, and this is your job. In this case, I call you the buffer system. Here it is, the buffer system, which is homeostasis for the pH. This is a homeostasis of the pH. What's a pH again? Measuring acidity and alkalinity is called pH, from 0 to 14. So the buffer system is always keeping our pH within the normal range. Does it stay by itself? No, it does not. It does change, but you put it back. You bring it back. It's 7.35 to 7.45. What if it go to 7.48? That's okay. You will bring it down. You bring it down. Okay, and you meaning you're adding H. What if it goes down? You bring it up. So your body system do that all the time, and we call that the buffer system. Buffer means to keep it in that buffer zone, which is a normal range. You buffer it. Goes up, bring it down. It goes down, bring it up. Do you want to go get it up or down? I don't want to get it anything. I want it in that range, whatever it is. It's 7.35, 7.45. It goes up, bad. it goes down, bad. I want it in that range. Protein is considered one of these buffers. It can buffer our system. So we have different proteins in our blood that do that job. And there are other types of buffer. So here it is. You have always a balance. pH is measuring concentration of hydrogen, which is representing acid, and hydroxide ion, which represent base or alkali. So hydrogen, we call it like this. Why did you put H here? Because it's an ion. What's the ion? I talked about it. It's an atom that gained or lost electron. So now it has a charge. Normally, atom does not have a charge. What do you mean it does not have a charge? It means protons and electrons are equal. One proton inside, one electron outside. 5, 5, 7, 7. If you lost electron, you're not going to lose proton. It is not equal anymore. You have a charge. I call you an ion. That's why it looks like this, which is positive, and hydroxide group is like this, which is negative. Obviously, it gained. And here is the range between 1 and 14. 7 is neutral. Hydrogen and OH equal. You go up, it's alkaline, meaning hydroxide is more than hydrogen. You go down, it's acidic, meaning hydrogen is more than OH. Here is 7. This is a range from 1 to 14. 7 is exactly in the middle, and this is called neutral. And look at this, pure water. Do I need to memorize this? No, you don't. You don't. But for your own information, if you want to, you can see like lemon here. Of course, this is acid. You can see like Clorox and oven cleaners. These are base or alkaline. Which one is good and which one is bad? Is acid good or bad? Alkaline, which one is good and which one is bad? There is nothing good and nothing bad. Both of them are bad. Except you want it to be in the normal range, and only you want it to move if it serves a purpose. If it serves a purpose only. Like my stomach acid. Yes, it should be acidic because there's a purpose for that, but not the blood. The blood should be 7.35 to 7.45. That's it. You go up is bad, you go down is bad. But in certain situation or certain locations, I want it to be different. Like your acid in your stomach, is that within the range 7.35? No, this is only for the blood. Only for the blood. When I say physiological pH or normal pH, I'm referring to the blood. 7.35, 7.45. But something like the stomach acid, is that within the range? No, it is not. And I don't want it to be in the range. I want it to be acidic. Do you think acidic is more H or OH? Can somebody tell me? Acidic, more hydrogen or more hydroxide group? Does anybody know?
It's gonna be more OH.
Acidic. Acidic is more hydrogen. Yep, you guys need to remember this. Acidic and more hydrogen. Alkaline is more OH. Okay. I know we're still working on it, but I want you to catch this part because it's important. It's important. Acid, more hydrogen. Base or alkaline is more OH. So why do you want our stomach to contain acid? Because the acid in our stomach is going to kill any pathogen. Of course, none of us eat sterilized foods. Do you eat sterilized food? Of course not. right? Don't you make your own food? It contains something. It's impossible to be sterilized. So in reality, every food that we eat contains something, whatever it is. It's bacteria, it's virus, it's anything. So your acidity in your stomach is going to kill it. And then this is something that we actually need. And it also help us to like break down the food. So it's in purpose. So acid, is that good or bad? Only good if it's serving a purpose. Otherwise, it's bad. Like our stomach acid is acid. Is that good or bad? Within the normal range, it's good because it's doing a function. But if it is in something else, it is bad. Like the exhaust that we see here from the fossil fuel that we use, gas and gasoline and stuff like that. Is that good or bad? It's bad because it's going to make the rain acidic. So what's good about that? What's the purpose? Nothing. It's just contaminant. How about the base? Is that something good or bad? Same thing. You can't say good or bad. If it is serving a purpose, it's good. If it is not serving a purpose, it's bad. So look at this, Tums. Any one of you guys used it before? Rolade, Tums. This is medicated mint. It's not mint, it's medicated. It contains base. In that case, if you feel like heartburn or something, and you get something like that, Tums or Rolade or something, and you get a couple of those, you feel better. So is it serving a purpose? Yes. Your acidity is getting up, it's going up. So, and that hurts. So if that's the case, if you take the Tums for that purpose, it's good. But should I take it for no purpose? Like, can I drink oven cleaner or Clorox or something like that? Of course, this is harmful. What's the purpose? You're using Tums for a purpose, for a reason. You're having too much acid. You can get a couple of those. And by the way, you're not supposed to take a lot of this. In case of you, we all can use any of those. Do we use that? Yes. If I have myself, if I feel some heartburn, I can get a couple of those Tums and I can use it. But can I get like half of that bottle? Of course not. Now it's not serving the purpose. Now it's exceeding that. You're, instead of having acidity and you want to just lower your acidity a little bit, you're going to reverse it. And this is bad. You're going to make it alkaline, which is bad. So acidosis,
Professor?
go ahead.
The acid, would that be like fruits and vegetables, edible, that you're talking about, edible acids that we can digest? And then the
Like, yes.
alkalines are like the man-made items that, like, obviously, like Clorox bleach, we can't eat that. So anything
Yes,
from
let me say it this way. Yes, I got your idea. Well, the food that we eat, it can be slightly acidic, it can be slightly alkaline. This but alone is not, it's not something bad because it's food. So there is a purpose for the food to eat? Yes, that's not bad. Is the food that we're eating, is it food and drink? Is that acidic or alkaline? It can be slightly acidic, it can be slightly alkaline. This is not bad because we need the food, but we don't drink acid. We don't drink like Clorox or even oven cleaner. We don't bleach. We don't drink it. So if it is slightly acidic and slightly alkaline in the food or the drink, the normal food and drink, that's okay. The body will take care of it. Like, what if I get like lemon juice? I put some lemon juice on my soup, for example. Is that something good or bad? Well, the lemon is slightly acidic, but don't worry about it. You're not drinking a bottle of lemon juice. You put a little bit of it, but this is a little bit acidic. I understand that. when it goes into the body, the buffer system will take care of it. So that's not an issue. Apple, isn't that a little bit slightly acidic? Yes, very little bit. And the body will take care of it. Don't worry about it. You're eating some apple because it's something good. You need the food for a purpose. So anything that you eat or drink for a purpose, it's the normal food and drink, that's okay. What is not okay is to drink acid, whatever the acid is. Like you get a whole bottle of lemon juice. No, that's bad. Or you get like the battery acid, of course not. Or they get the bleach, Clorox, oven cleaner, all of these, drain cleaner, all of these are alkaline, of course not. So only in the food, if it is slightly acidic, and it is actually, some food is slightly acidic, some food is slightly basic. We don't have to know the details, but I'm telling you, slightly acidic, slightly basic in the food is okay. The body will take care of it. So the benefit is better than, it's impossible to like eat or drink something that's 7. It's impossible. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, I guess where I was kind of coming from is I was looking from the color scale from the light green going to the red.
Yeah.
Those would be like items that would be naturally occurring in nature that we could eat. And then looking from the light blue to the purple would be things that were manipulated items in nature that would be deadly to us. And then from
not necessarily. This is not the purpose of these colors. The 7 is neutral. Anything going up toward the blue and purple, this is alkaline. Moving down to the yellow, orange, red, this is acidic. There is no side that's natural occurring, and the other side is like food or drink. It just happened that they give you examples that's in the food and drink, but not necessarily. Like acid rain, this is not food or drink. Urine, saliva, or urine is not food. Battery acid, it's not food. It just happened that the examples that they give you, a lot of it in the acid side is something that we eat or drink, but not necessarily. These are just examples.
So like if I took a sample of the water and I read the pH and the pH fell, let's say between the yellow and the light green, it would be 6.5% pH inside that water.
You will actually, the water is going to be like 6 point something, like 6.9, 6.95, something like that. If you measure it, it's going to be in that range, and that's totally fine.
Okay.
Because it's not pure. I'm talking about the water, the tap water, or the water, the tap water, or the normal water that we get in our houses. Yes, it's not going to be perfect. It can be like 6.95, very close, which is fine.
So I guess kind of looking at the scale, what I'm looking at is each individual category. If reading the pH inside that specific category, that pH should read within, like you said, the urine would be right there on the line of 6 and 7, which would be like a 6.9.
Yes.
pH if I was going to break it down. So if I broke down seawater, that would be like an 8.9 pH level.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yes, this is how you read it. But again, remember that in biology, you don't have to know all of this. It's just examples to understand the concept. What you're going to be asked about it is the concept. So I'm not going to ask you like, do you think the black coffee is 5.6 or 6.5? That would be too much, too deep for this course. Okay, so what you're saying is totally correct. Seawater, it's between 8 and 9. Yes, it's 8.5, 8.6. You're totally correct. But what the point I'm trying to make here is this is for our own knowledge, not in the courses doesn't go that deep. Okay. Okay, so remember again, acidic is about under 7, and alkaline is uh, above the normal range. If it goes under 7, it goes above 7, we call that acid or base. Is that good or bad? I already mentioned it. It depends on if we take it for a purpose, natural purpose or not. And we have our buffer system to keep that within the normal range. Protein is one of it, and there are other things. Now, this is a very good example of this keeping the pH within the normal range and homeostasis. This is a link, so this is very important. Understand this. I told you guys that our blood pH should be between 7.35 and 7.45. You need to remember this. 7.35, 7. This is the only number that I ask you, plus 7, which is neutral. It's between 1 and 14. 7 is neutral. 7.35, 7.45. This is normal for our blood. Okay. And I already told you, we eat and drink every day. We eat and drink several times. So does it change? Yes, it does, but you bring it back. How do we bring it back? Buffer system is one. So like the protein, the plasma protein in our blood, it's going to return it back. It's going to buffer it back. But here is another scenario that can affect our pH in a different way. Let me tell you this. Do we know that when you breathe, I think this is very simple. When we breathe, you gain oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. I think we all know that, right? Isn't that the purpose of breathing? We breathe in and out. When I do that, I gain oxygen and I get rid of carbon dioxide. All right. Now, do I have carbon dioxide and oxygen in my blood? Yes. How is it carried in the blood? Like in which form? Carbon dioxide in the blood. How does it stay in the blood? A good part of it dissolve in the water of the blood, making an acid. And this acid is called carbonic acid. Carbon dioxide in the water makes carbonic acid. So when carbon dioxide increase in our blood, does that lead to acidity or alkalinity? Acidity. Are we following? Is what I'm saying clear? When we breathe, you're trying to get rid of carbon dioxide, you kick it out, it's in your blood. You kick it out. And you gain oxygen in exchange of oxygen. This is what we do the whole day long. Gain oxygen, get rid of carbon dioxide. Gain oxygen, get rid of carbon dioxide. Why are you getting rid of carbon dioxide? Where does it come from? From the cellular respiration that we talked about before. Remember these? And I told you guys it was important. Remember cellular respiration, glycolysis in the cytoplasm, and then Krebs cycle, cellular acid cycle, and electron transport chain in the mitochondria. Do you still remember that? You have to remember that. If you still remember that, when we do this cellular respiration, we end up producing carbon dioxide. It go to the blood, and when we do that, we use oxygen. Remember? Can anybody tell me? Let me see if you guys are studying as we go or not. Which step of the cellular respiration use oxygen? Glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain. Which one? Are you guys studying as we go? What do you think? Can somebody tell me?
You must have covered that on Thursday.
I don't remember exactly, but it's in previous chapters. Does anybody who attended, or if you guys are studying, and by the way, if something happened and you guys don't attend, I always record, always watch the video recording. Do you all have an access to my YouTube list with all the lectures that we're recording? If you don't, it's located in on Blackboard. You will see in the left panel, you will see a link saying my YouTube videos. You will also see it in homepage. If you click on the homepage, you will see everything there. I specifically put everything in that page so you don't like look around for anything. It's there. So watch the videos whether you attended or not. But other students, do you guys remember that? Did you study? Do you remember which one use oxygen and which one does not need oxygen? I'm talking about glycolysis, Krebs cycle, which is citric acid cycle, and electron transport chain. Which of the three need oxygen, use oxygen, and which doesn't use it?
Krebs cycle
Krebs cycle,
uses
does it
oxygen.
use oxygen? Yes.
Yes, and then the glycolysis does not need oxygen.
Excellent. How about the third one? Electron transport chain.
Can't remember.
It does need oxygen as well, because glycolysis, it occurs in the cytoplasm. It doesn't need oxygen. Both Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle and electron transport chain, they occur in the mitochondria. Mitochondria doesn't work without oxygen. So both of them need oxygen. Okay? All right. So do I need oxygen to do this? Yes, I do. I need oxygen for those two cycles that you just mentioned. I need oxygen. So oxygen is in your blood. Where did you get it from? Breathing. I gain oxygen, send it in the blood, it go to the cells use it. Then what? From these cycles, carbon dioxide is produced. It also go to the blood, you breathe it out. So this is what's happening 24/7 throughout our entire life. We breathe, we get the oxygen in, go to the blood, go to the cells. The cells use it for cellular respiration. It produces carbon dioxide, go to the blood, we breathe it out. And then we breathe in oxygen, go to the blood, go to the cells. Cells produce carbon dioxide, go to the blood, we breathe it out. Is that clear? That's what we do throughout our entire life. The point I'm trying to make now, as carbon dioxide is moving in the blood, it dissolves in the water, making carbonic acid. Carbonic what? Carbonic acid. Acid. So it makes acidity. Is that something good or bad? It's bad. We're not supposed to change. So because of that, instead of having our blood 7.35 to 7.45, now it is a little bit. It's not much. Carbon dioxide, carbonic acid doesn't change it that much. So it just go down like instead of 7.35, 7.32, let's say. But this is not in the normal range. What's homeostasis is going to do? Yes, homeostasis is going to fix it. How? Breathe more. Breathe more. Did you ever notice that sometimes you go like this? You know what's happening in this case? If you're exercising, you're making more carbon dioxide. You're getting more acidity. You breathe more to get rid of it. And when you get rid of it, less carbonic acid, less acidity, going back to normal pH. And this is a perfect example, not the only example. We have hundreds, but this is one of the best examples for homeostasis. When carbon dioxide accumulates for some reason, like you're exercising meaning you're doing more cellular respiration, producing more carbon dioxide. Acidity, that's bad. Breathe more, kick out more carbon dioxide. And it will ultimately, carbonic acid go down because you get rid of carbon dioxide. So acidity change and you get rid of it and you go back to the normal range. Perfect example of homeostasis. One more thing that I want to mention here. Do you guys drink carbonated beverages? Pepsi, 7-Up, anything? If you drink it, did you ever look in that machine, like the ones in McDonald's or Burger King or anywhere? You like say, okay, I need a sandwich of hamburger and Pepsi. And you go to, they give you a cup and you go to that machine. Did you ever look in the back of that machine? Guess what? If you look in the back, you will see tubes. These tubes are bringing water, flavor, and believe it or not, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. So when inside the machine, the carbon dioxide under pressure, it will dissolve in the water, making carbonic acid. Wait a minute. Do we drink carbonic acid in our beverages? Yes. Yes. And this is on purpose. Because it tastes good. Where like let me ask you this. When you get some Pepsi and you drink it, it tastes good. Can you leave it for like 5 hours, 7 hours and drink it and it's still good? No, you throw it away, right? When you have Pepsi opened, do you drink it next day? Usually no. It doesn't taste as good. Why? Because carbon dioxide leaves. So when you hear carbonated beverages, this is what it means. Carbonated beverages, Pepsi, 7-Up, anything that you drink. When you hear this word, you link it now. It's carbonated beverages. What's carbonated? Carbonated, carbonic acid, which is coming from carbon dioxide. This is just a practical example to understand the concept. So are you saying that this Pepsi is acidic? Yeah, it is slightly acidic. But don't worry, your body, you should not drink too much. But if you drink a little bit of it, that's okay. It's your body system, your buffer system, and your breathing is going to it's going to buffer it back. Homeostasis will take care of it. One more thing. You're saying, or you're telling us that when we have more carbon dioxide in our body, that will make acid. And we breathe more to get rid of the carbon dioxide. Who told our respiratory system about that? Like what's the link? Like carbon dioxide is higher in the blood, making carbonic acid. And then you breathe more. Who told your respiratory system that it's getting acidic? How did you know? What's the link? Here's the link. We have something called chemoreceptors. These receptors, they detect the chemistry of the blood, and if it's getting acidic, it will send a signal to the brain, and the brain will tell your respiratory system to speed up or slow down according to the chemistry of the blood. Chemoreceptors. We have those in our blood vessels, in our brain, and it constantly check the pH of our blood. If it's getting acidic, you're going to breathe more. If it's getting alkaline, you breathe less. So here it is, carbon dioxide in the blood. When it goes up, it dissolves in the water, making carbonic acid. Chemoreceptors are going to pick it up. And it's going to send the signal to our respiratory system to breathe more. You get rid of carbon dioxide. Carbonic acid goes down. We go back to normal. pH is measuring of which ions? Can you guys help me with this? There are 2 ions here. What do you think? Does anybody know?
Hydrogen and hydroxide.
Excellent. Yes, hydrogen and hydroxide. Protein and other biological molecules, they keep pH within the range. Which range? Which range is it taken care of? Is it?
pH. You just said it.
Yes, it's pH. Human blood, we maintain pH range between what and what? What are the two numbers here that I told you?
7.3 and 7.5.
7.35 to 7.35 to 7 point,
7.45.
yes,
7.
7.35 to,
7.45.
yes, 7.45, yes.
Yeah.
What is the system that counteract the harmful shift in the pH? What do you call that system?
Buffer.
It's the buffer system, yes. The buffer system. Oops. Okay. What do you call these receptors that detect the pH and control it? What's the receptors?
Chromo.
Chemoreceptors.
Chemo.
Yes, chemoreceptors. Chemo is
How
coming
is
from
it?
chemistry. Chemoreceptors, chemistry receptors. They detect the chemistry. What do you mean chemistry? I mean pH, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. These are chemicals. So this is what it detects. Here it is, and this is the summary. It's summarizing what we already talked about. Do you guys have any questions in this part that we finished? Is everything clear? Everything is not clear. What do you think? Are you okay? Any questions? No questions? Let me stop recording.